I said fuck the countdown because I'm here now. And we're gonna turn the volume down a little bit. Let me make sure you guys can still hear it. I just need to turn it down a bit for me. Ooh, it's all creepy now. Alright, so, hey Atlas, hi Darwin, hi Circa. How are you guys doing? The Gothic librarian look has made a return for tonight. And those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, clearly you're not watching the D&D campaign that I'm a player in. Where is my hair going all loopy? Hi Cookie, you're hella tired. Atlas, oh no. Yes, it's a cookie. So, right now my current hyperfixation is D&D, but it's specifically the character I'm getting to play in D&D. So I want you guys to start typing about your favorite character in D&D, either that you've thank you for the sub, Night's Fall. Either the favorite character that you've played, the favorite character you've seen, and maybe some of the instances or reasons why. All of them. Yeah, your booster on Saturday. Night's Fall! Gifting 5 subs! Just to start the stream. I thought you were busy today, Night's Fall. This is some shenanigans. I thought you were busy. Thank you, but... And then Atlas, I saw that it said you got your booster shot for the vaccine. I hope you feel better soon from that. Look at all those subs. Oh gosh, Alpha's gonna be excited. Yep, there's Alpha. He's gonna be excited about that. Sean. Hi, Sean. Apparently he lied. Okay, I think that was the last of them. He's not even saying... There, he said something. Had to stop by. You have midterms tomorrow and the next day. Are you almost done with those? Like, are midterms almost done at least for you? I feel like I've heard you talking about midterms for like weeks now. I can only imagine how it feels for you. Those are the last days? That's good. We're gonna change the color. Ooh. But D&D, favorite characters. You have to leave now, but you will lurk. Love some D&D. Thank you for the lurk, and thank you again for the gifted subs. But yes, favorite characters you've played or seen, and some like instances or reasons why. Honestly, my character that I'm playing right now has become my favorite character, but started off as one of my least. Like, they started off okay, but then I realized I made a mistake and made them very one-note. And that is Elkson Urikara Maegakata! Thank you for gifting a sub, Sean. You paid it forward, thank you. Oh, a hype train is closed. Jeebus. We're barely into this thing. I appreciate you guys, but calm down. Elkson Urikara, my super naive, started out White Dragonborn, started off as just full ranger, then started dabbling into druid. And I made her the super naive goody two-shoes character, basically. And it was fun at first because it was different than how I am. But it got kind of boring after a while because she was just always jumping headfirst into things, always risking herself to protect her friends, like, easily tricked for the most part, like... Oh, close enough to 5 tier 1s. My favorite Oh wait, that was a tier 3 sub? Jeebus! Sean! Jeebus! Wings will be the only one with some of those emotes now. Oh, Wings will have all the emotes whenever they show up. Let's see, Daro. My favorite character I played was an 11-year-old halfling scout rogue named Kepley, who is very afraid of being alone. To feel safe, he has a little pet mouse, Honey. You love playing as him, but your group has stopped playing due to conflicting schedules. Oh no! That sounds like such a fun character, though. You have the perfect edited clip for that. I am happy to supply. But that sounds like a really cute character, Darwin. I would love to see that. A little rogue that's afraid of being alone. That's so cute. I look like I would be a rogue right now, like with the leather jacket and the face markings and everything. I have my ears over here. Yeah, I'm gonna put my ears on. A phrase not many will ever say or hear. I'm gonna put my ears on. There we go. Elven Gothic Librarian. You look like an awesome warlock. Thank you! So funny you say that. Because Elxin, in the campaign that she's in, has recently come across the person who imprisoned her parents and killed her father. And the amount of anger and hate that she's feeling towards this man has made her afraid of herself. And in that fear, when she was reached out to by what may or may not be a succubus, she made a pact with her. So now, my innocent, naive little dragonborn has gone from sweet little ranger to this warlock druid. Yeah, she's starting to go kind of dark side. She's being corrupted by all the bull crap she's been seeing. It is really cool. Like, the character development is real there. Like, Nightfall's been doing a fantastic job writing that campaign. Because I was genuinely getting kind of bored with that character. But I love that arc. Yes, I know. Like, she was definitely the most innocent of the group. Tied for the youngest of the group. And now the two youngest in the group have both made pacts with demons, one of which was much earlier, and we're all kind of used to his little imp that may or may not actually be an imp. But this happened at the very end of last session, so while the other players know, the other characters don't. They won't until they see Elxin going all eldritch on somebody. Or if they notice that the pact is so strong that it had a physical effect on her. And remember, she's a white dragon with sapphire eyes. One of her eyes is now crimson. And the scales around it are turning black. You want to play more D&D and RP more, but you crack under pressure. You overthink so much that you can't think of what to say. Do you have any tips for reducing overthinking? I'm not the best person to ask for that because I've always, just even outside of D&D, I have always been a very blunt person. So I would just kind of spit things out without overthinking too much and then apologize after if I offended somebody. But as far as in D&D specifically, I just tend to try and get as much into the mind of my character as possible. Because my character wouldn't be overthinking about what people are going to say to what she's about to say. Her main concern is the thing in front of her. So, like, triple classing is not always recommended in D&D because you kind of limit what scales you're able to get to. So, but I did it because it's what Elixon would have done, regardless of whether it's smart as a player or not. But yeah, like just like you're acting in a play and somebody forgets their lines, so you improv to keep it on track. But nobody knows it better than you, because nobody knows your character better than you. So you are the only one who will know if something you say is or is not in character. If that makes sense. But yeah, if you're not following Nightsfall, I definitely recommend going and watching our past streams. I don't know if he's uploading them anywhere. I hope he is. I want to be able to watch this arc once it completes. Like, once we get to the end of this thing, I want to flash back to how Elxin was. Um, God, I feel like my tooth is getting worse. The broken one. If you don't have D&D groups around, how can you find new groups? Some, I think my music stopped. Some D&D stores will have a like online forum or something. Otherwise, there's startplaying.games, which is an online D&D site where you can find pretty much professional DMs, but some that are just starting, so they do pro bono and stuff. There is Roll20 has a whole forum on there where you can find groups and whatnot. Hell, I formed the group that I have now through Facebook. I just joined some of my local D&D, well, I was already on local D&D groups on Facebook, but I asked on some of them if anyone was interested in playing in a completely homebrew world and that new players were welcome. And I had my first full-length campaign with that group and started the second with them, but things happened. Most of that group drifted off. But in the process, when a space would come up, I would reach out on the Facebook group and ask. And that's how you got Nightsfall. That's how you got Heidi. And, the other people that we've had in the past campaign, all of them were from Facebook. Teddy was actually an ex-coworker of mine that I kept in touch with. He used to be one of my boss at one of the old places I worked. Yeah, I'm happy to help, Darwin. Cookie and Kitsune, I both just have known in person for years because of the convention scene. And Pockets was another coworker, and I just so happened to have the keys that he needed one day, and he saw my lanyard was nerdy and asked about D&D, and now he's in the game. Random rolling friends. It's funny, Cookie, I'm pretty sure like among the first time of us meeting was for the Dragon Age tabletop. Like, I'm pretty sure we didn't really hang out or anything before that. I might be recalling wrong, but sometimes it'll start off as like, yep. Sometimes it'll start off as other things like that too. Like, for me, I didn't get into specifically Dungeons and Dragons right away. I started off with something called Wastelands that a friend of a friend was running, and I just kind of tagged along to watch a session, and then they helped me roll up a character, and I was playing by the next one. And then Star Wars Saga Edition, the TTRPG, had a lot of fun in that. seen you in passing and talked with you at cons, but it never left an impression. It's not that you didn't leave an impression. I'm just so scatterbrained. People are always adamant that they're good with faces. I'm not. I'm not a face person or a name person. I'll remember numbers for days. Like, just off the bat, I can tell you my mom's number, my dad's number, my grandmother's number. Like, I could tell you so many phone numbers. But trying to, like, depict faces between, like, similar faces, if I have not known them for a long time, is extremely difficult. And even sometimes if I have known them for a long time, it can be difficult. You're horrible with names unless you can put a face to it, then you remember it. See, that's how most people are. I feel like I am definitely the weird one here in that I don't remember faces well. This is not D&D talk. Alex, I feel like, remembers faces, though. Speaking of faces, I mentioned that Alexin is getting one of her eyes permanently changed. Don't mind my sad attempt at drawing Dragonborn in this corner. I'll just cover that up. But I drew a dragon's eye with the black scales underneath it. I tried to draw dragon's eye. All turned red to kind of show what her eye looks like now when it used to be this like sapphire blue. You just need to leave a lasting impression. And then I also drew a staff for her that's meant to be like gradient wood, and the gemstone at the top would be like that kind of black gemstone where it looks solid black, but then it shimmers and reflects different, like green or blue or stuff like that. One of those. And it's got a black vine wrapped around it. What a friendly looking staff. Hi, Ren! What a time for you to come in! Did you see the eye, Ren? Oi! How's it going? Right. You saw the eye. So spoilers for next session now. I mean, player-wise, you already know that I made the pact, but I'm so excited for this reveal, and I've been hyper-fixating on it since game. And of course I had today off, so, you know, I had nothing to distract me from my hyperfixation, so it was just like, okay, well, this happened. Like, I did AFT with Nightfall to have the discussion with the patron thing, and then, and, like, the training for the spells, and then, I did, like, the drawings. I've been researching the spells. Is good. I'm sleepy from work. Saw good. I saw it on the Hero for Forge later this morning. Like, wait a sec. Eyeball to a straight. You feel that, though? Like we were scribbling Depression Deer at work. Depression Deer. Also, Ren, there's going to be some things that change with how Elxin is towards Gabri, with some things that she has learned from her patron. Oh, gosh. So, it looks like you're going to be without meds till this goes away. What do you mean without your meds? Oh, you can't take your meds because of the injury? What? You can't imagine. A lot of it has to do with a lack of context and assumptions being made. Because she made an assumption that she explained to the succubus, who made an assumption and, like, explained some things to Elxin, and with what she's been told. Knuckles. Oh, no. Oh my goodness. It's gonna be so fun. I can't wait. I also can't wait for Miyagi to realize it, because you know he's gonna have some shit to say to her. after all this shit that Elkson gave Miyagi for his deal with a demon. Oh dear. And this is all like Caffrey's just being thrown into this. Like everyone being playing pocket monsters with demons and elf ghosts. I mean, you're not wrong. Oh, also, my Dragonborn has a pseudo-dragon pet. That's absolutely adorable. And I was so tempted to do the Find Familiar spell and make the pseudo-dragon my familiar. Pardon. But then I also thought about, like, Thunderbolt as my familiar. Sounds like an epic journey. It is an epic journey so far. Oh my gosh. It's been crazy fun, and I want next session to be here, but it's every other week. So it's gonna be a while before we get any more. Horse familiar would be wild. Pseudo dragon also cutie. Right? Can you just imagine just summoning up a horse familiar just like boom? But I cast horse. I cast horse. Cannot unsee this. Oh god, that's 100% what that's 100%. I would say that too. I cast horse. And after the first time, I feel like everybody would know what it meant every time I said, I cast horse. Oh god. What other kind of crazy familiars could you bind yourself to? Like, what are the limits of the Find Familiar spell? That would be amazing. Right? Like, if you could have a pseudo-dragon as your familiar, it makes it, like, why not a horse? At that point, it's like, but then, like, could you make, like, a rhinoceros your familiar? Just summon a rhinoceros? Oh gosh, the insanity. In the service of a familiar, a spirit that takes an animal form you choose. Okay, between those. Bat, cat, crab, frog, toad, hawk, lizard, octopus, owl, poisonous snake, fish, rat, raven, seahorse, spider, or weasel. Seahorse? Like, many of those I can understand the benefits of those versus the other ones, but seahorse? How oddly specific, and why? Why would you want a seahorse? If you're not summoning a rhino on the regular, are you really summoning an elephant? You'd pick a seahorse just for the means. You see, I knew someone was gonna say that. I knew someone was gonna be like, I do it. Because chaos. But you can get your DM to have some leniency with your familiar. I didn't take the spell, so I'm not gonna have a familiar, but oh my god, just thinking about the shenanigans. So nothing too big, it looks like. Oh. No, it's a celestial, fae, or fiend instead of a beast. Oh goodness. I cast octopus. That's one of the options. That's an absurd option. Just octopus. You just throw octopus at people, and then what the hell are they gonna do? They're trapped inside the octopus tentacles. The TM is chaotic. I am chaotic in the campaign you are in, yes, and I am also chaotic as a player. And Knight's Fall is equally chaotic as a player in DM. And I thoroughly enjoy it. Let chaos reign. How was your extended weekend? You know, I'm gonna be honest, I completely forgot Martin Luther King. Ing Jr. was day, MLK Day, was today, but I had, because I just so happened to have the day off anyways. And my work schedule is so sporadic, weekends mean nothing to me. Oh, the chaos. Oh, my Lanta. Apologies. I need more energy. This is just tea, but... Here's another question for you guys. What are some of the best or worst crits that you've seen? Either the DM crits and gives us a ton of damage on a character, or you get a nat 20 at the most hilarious time, or a nat 1 at the most hilarious time. Like, tell me some stories about drinking with a boba straw. No, it's not a boba straw. It's just a regular reusable straw. I feel like a gremlin player. Geoffrey's one of your few trying to keep it together sorts. One of my backup characters is a genderless goblin pirate. Like, I don't think it can get much more chaos than that. Also, if you see back here, this is from the first campaign that was completed. Day in Demand made everybody in it prince. And I love it so much. There was Rack, and then Farron, Elixian, Greenlee, and Elric. Ah, that art is beautiful, right? I love it so much. And if he was taking commissions right now, I 100% would ask him to do one for this group that's going on right now. Because that is just beautiful. I need to get a frame for that. I bet I have some at work. I'm gonna get a frame for that. You may see it hanging up somewhere in the near future. Your friend was rolling consistently bad for the whole campaign to the point that it became a meme. When fighting one of the big bads, they rolled a nat 20 at the perfect time and continued to roll high. Nice. Dice redemption arc. It was amazing and a lot of laughs. Some instances I can think of is one of the characters in this campaign had a bit of a backstory thing we had to sort through. And it came to a roll of their stealth versus a creature's perception. They both had the same, like, additive, so it literally just came down to whatever the dice rolled. And both of them rolled a nat 20. Both the NPC creature and the player character rolled nat 20s. So when it's the same, you do rollies, which just means that you roll the d20s again. And literally, it would have gone either way at this point, except for the fact that they both rolled nat 1s. They both rolled nat 20s, and then they both rolled nat 1s. So then we had to do rollies again. And it finally broke the streak. We were playing module, Dragon ambushed us, took down my fighter, Arcane Archer, and half the party, including the GM NPC companion. You nat 20'd your death save, stood back up, and started picking everyone up with potions. And then the dragon missed all 3 times its multi-boops on a fighter. You saved the day. It was an absolutely wild turn. Oh my god, that sounds awesome. That sounds so awesome, Ren. Huh? Oh, I can just share the video. It's a YouTube video of a bunch of different songs that are compiled together. I can share that in the Discord. Easy peasy. Amelia. We'll do art share. Shaboopy. I should make a thing for music. Alright. There we go. That is absolutely amazing though, Ren. I love seeing moments like that. He's actually gonna bring that character to our Sunday game with Accent and Pals, but ended up doing a new character. Has nothing to do with D&D, but how do I stop being a therapist friend? If you want to stop being the therapist friend, then just kind of explain to them that you have a lot on your own plate and a lot on your own mind. And while most of the time you have no problem listening to them and helping them, it's becoming a problem because you can't listen to yourself. You have to be honest and say, I will help you when I can, but I cannot always be that person. Yeah, I'm basically the therapist friend for my group. But you know, sometimes it's not necessarily that you need to stop being the therapist friend, but find another therapist friend. And then you can help be each other's therapists. And let off some of that steam. Why is my phone going off? The biggest thing, in my opinion, is just being honest. Because nobody's gonna read your mind. Nobody's gonna know that there's friendship therapy confetti around. Nobody's gonna know that you need that break unless you say something. And it's not selfish to need a break. Yay, confetti! Hi, Disciple! BRB shower. Okay, bye, Disciple! But, yeah, so this is, I mean, I don't understand why it is so taboo for people to take time for themselves, to take care of themselves. Like, mental health and self-care is such a simultaneously taboo and sensationalized thing. And I don't understand why. Because, like, you've got problems with your, you know, with like your joints and stuff, you'll see a doctor. You got problems with your stomach, you'll see a gastroenterologist, you know. You have eye problems, you go see an optometrist. You have mental health problems, go see a therapist, or a psychiatrist. Like, I don't understand why we make it such a big deal. Like, taking care of your mental health, it shouldn't be celebrated, but it shouldn't be looked down on. Like, it should just be something we do, like when we go to the doctor. What? Leftover baggage and negative stigma from ye old times. Yeah. Kitsune was shouting from the other room about it being capitalism's fault, because capitalism forces us to believe that we are not worth anything if we are not working. Which is a fair point, but I feel like it's something that we definitely need to change. Like, we should not be out here, like, awarding everything that has a hashtag self-care on it. Because now it's become so, like, oh, hi, I am drinking champagne and wearing a face mask, hashtag self-care. And I don't understand that. Like, if that... Like, if that's something that genuinely helps your mental health, by all means. But if that's just your lifestyle, like, I don't know. It feels wrong to sensationalize it when there's still people struggling with self-care. This reminds me about you have contacted a therapist and none of them are accepting clients. Oh no, Atlas! Hi, Mustafa Dives, right? Mustafa Dives, right? I'm sorry if I said your name wrong, but hello. Your psychology class was recently told that males tend to bottle their emotions more than women. You've reached out to a lot of your male friends and you're glad you did. They are going through a lot right now and you're glad you're with them. In other words, feel free to reach out to others for your mental health, please. Yes, absolutely, 100%. It does not matter if you are man, woman, non-binary, whatever you may be. Your mental health matters just as much as everyone else's, and it does not make you weak to talk about how you feel. It does not make you weak to feel things. That makes you human. That makes you like everybody else. Because whether they be good feelings or bad feelings, or whether you are scared or you feel alone or you are bothered by intrusive thoughts, like, it's not wrong to have any of that, and it's not wrong to talk about it. That's correct, must have dives right. Alright. Why are you sad though, hon? Let Resident Goth Mom help you. What's going on? We've definitely derailed from D&D, but not by much, honestly. I've always kind of thought D&D was a very good outlet for people. You know, you get to be violent in some instances, you get to have emotional catharsis with others. Sorry about that. Sorry about what? Oh, getting off topic? No worries, Atlas. But no, I would honestly, when I'm well off and not struggling, and you know, probably when my kids are out of the house, I would love to start a D&D therapy thing and try and get it to go to like schools all over the country to get kids into D&D as a form of expression, emotional catharsis. It helps with problem solving, critical thinking, mathematics. Like, there's no reason that we shouldn't already have something like that in schools. You want to pursue a career in football, but your dad doesn't support it. Aww, I'm so sorry to hear that. I can understand that a lot. I always wanted to be in one of the more creative fields, like an artist, a dancer, that kind of stuff, but my mom never supported it. What the fuck is D&D? Dungeons and Dragons. It is the primary thing that I stream, and yeah. It is what this just chatting was originally about. D&D in schools would be amazing. How have I never thought of that? Right? Like, maybe talk to your teachers. Like, see if one of them would be willing to, like, help you start it as a club at your school. Or talk to your guidance counselor about it. See if it's something that you could do. The thing that makes it worse is that all your coaches say you have so much potential. It's a hard situation, for sure. I mean, I'm assuming you're relatively young. just because you're listening to your dad about your career. Has he seen you play? Has he talked to your coaches? Do you know if he's worried about you not making it big enough to live off of, or is he worried about you getting hurt? Your old middle school, your music teacher was a DM and ran D&D club! That's awesome! I love that. See, like, D&D should 100% be in schools. Like, it's such a good outlet for people. Yes, you're a youngin'. Yes, that you're young. Yes, that your dad seen you play. Yes, to... I asked a lot of questions. There's a whole YouTube for teaching D&D. That's awesome! It's a tabletop role-playing game where you play a character along with your friends in a story narrated by the head of the table, the Dungeon Master. It is so much fun and so creative. It is literally a story that you get to play and interact in. What? Muchas gracias. I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish. I don't know what that says. But yeah, D&D is a lot of fun, and I feel like it would help out a lot of schools, a lot of kids in school, to have it there. Hi from Dubai. Oh, okay. Well, hello there. That is quite the ways away. See ya. That's cute. But, like, you get to basically play out being a superhero. Like, you were the hero of this epic adventure. No, no, it is not. There's nothing wrong with being gay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with being gay. Alright. Gone. Bye. Anyways, back to D&D. Like, it helps with the critical thinking, it helps with problem solving, it helps with improvisational skills, it helps with mathematics, it helps with, like, getting them to collaborate and work together. Anyway. And it's a great way for kids to develop creative minds. Exactly! Like, we need to stop dogging on creativity. For so long, people dogged on creativity in science and technology. Like, people were geeks, they're nerds, they're lame for that. And now, you're lame if you're an artist. Like, people are always dogging on creativity. And a lot of times I feel like that's just because they wish that they could do it. And that they are envious, you know? I feel like a lot of hate stems from envy. Well, that escalated quickly. Anyways, Damien, about D&D. When is that game you was gonna play in Damien? I have not been able to get more players together. Like, I've been asking and people have been kind of, like, falling out of sorts. I'm trying to get more still, but... so far I only have you and one other person tentatively interested. You, I know. But I mean, hey, chat, if you are interested in being part of an online mini-series, let me know. By the way, what was I interested in? What do you mean? Marl? That question confuses me. You would love to! You mean... Alright. Maybe the comment was meant as a joke, but... It would be fun, but I don't know. I thought we talked about me doing an online mini thing, Disciple. We'd have to working on some sketches. I need more days in the week for more TNT games. It would be a mini series. It would be like maybe 3 sessions. Then we would figure out a day that it worked for everyone. So, you know, Atlas, Darwin, Ren, and Disciple, that's enough for a group right there, if y'all are interested. Could be on Discord, no cameras necessary. You might have, but I don't remember being part of that convo unless it was one of those convos where your input was not. You're very free and flexible with times. If schedule permits, you're 100% down. Hell yeah. I need help, but I would love to. Awesome! And I happily will help with creating characters and stuff. But yeah, we're gonna have a fun little mini-series. That being said, you're not saying no right away. Alright, I'll make a little mention of it in the D&D talk in Discord. And boop! There we go. Why did my music go? Why does my music keep going away? I need more music. There we go. Music to a shy and keep hiding. It's rare you get to join for the start. You're usually the one called in as backup to fill D&D slot. Oh, pass that again. Sean, you're making me worry about you so much, honey. Are you okay? Do you need to go to the hospital? Do you need to go to the hospital, Sean? I'm genuinely concerned for your well-being at this point. Did you fall asleep? Or were you passing out? There's an important distinction here. Sean, do we need to call 911 or its equivalent in your country? Sean is in the US, so it would be 911. But without us knowing an address, that's not super helpful. You pass out all the time. Okay, fall asleep or pass out, like faint. Y'all are concerning me. No, you were just tired. Okay, you fell asleep. Iron deficiency. I understand that. Eat more spinach. Take iron supplements and magnesium supplements. Magnesium helps you absorb the iron better. A lack of meds. Iron and magnesium. Most multivitamins do not have iron in them, so a multivitamin alone will not help with an iron deficiency. Iron and magnesium. Phew, Sean. Right, Darwin? Will you be my level of concern? Shut it. Ow, John. I don't think she was saying that to you, Sean. I think she was saying, Atlas was saying that they have a lack of meds. You try to get your parents to buy that, but they say that you're over-exaggerating. Goodness gracious, honey. Do I need to, like, get a commission from you or something just so you can buy yourself some dang supplements? Goodness gracious. I do not understand some people. No, you're fine. It's all the time, really, just sometimes. Didn't the doctor mention this to your folks? Yeah, well, some parents tend to think that the doctors don't know what they're talking about. I don't know why. But I know my mom sure as hell did from time to time. Granted, she's a nurse, so she has a little bit of room to talk. IDK, bro. Goodness gracious, honey. The funny thing with stuff like that is I actually do have stuff like that incorporated into my campaigns most of the time. Like, I pay attention to what the group says that they're eating, and that's why I mention the rations periodically. Because if they are just eating, like, stuff they hunt, they're just eating red meat, basically, then there's some things that they're gonna have to deal with. If you need to talk some sense to your parents. Also don't want to be touchy, but they then please. Yeah, sorry, I realized that at one point, and I was like, God, no, bad. Hi there. I never apologize for pronouns. But yeah, like there's actual illness and stuff in my campaigns, and like possibilities of pregnancy if they get into relationships with NPCs, and there's some realism that I like to sprinkle in there. And doing death saving throws has a consequence. Like, if you get knocked down and are doing death saving throws, when you get back up, there is a consequence. As some of you who have watched the episode may have seen, our old werewolf boy, Edmund, got beat to shit by a tree and got put on death saving throws, and when he got back up, his leg was broken. Are you saying you can be a plague master? Technically, yes. If you wanted to be like a homebrew version of an artificer that had some bombs that instilled disease, absolutely. I love homebrew stuff. If you want to be a plague doctor artificer, I say that sounds badass. Kitsune's race that they're playing in my campaign is actually an entirely homebrewed race. Homebrew is glorious, and reskin, reflavor is your life. Exactly! Based off of the Nine Tails, so... tooth pain, why? I need to get dental insurance. You love that Nine Tails theme. Now you mentioned it, there is the third-party supplement called Grimm's Hollow. There are a lot of additives for D&D. If you could make anything come to life in D&D, be it an item, a race, a class, like anything, have show up in your D&D game, what would you want it to be? Technically, it's a campaign setting, but it might actually be my wisdom tooth and not my jank tooth because it's more back. But you can take what is in the book and apply it to your D&D game. Yes. Sorry, what was the question? You replace all the horses with platypus that can be ridden. Oh my goodness, so giant platypi everywhere. Yes. That sounds like a glorious world indeed. And maybe I'll make a giant platypus for the party to be able to find in the Feywild, just as an homage to that. Because why not? Funny you should mention that. You recently took the idea of the Knights Radiant from the Stormlight archives and added them to your campaign you're running. Nice! See, finding inspiration all over the place is fantastic. Fey Platypus is everything you can aspire for in this world. It'll be a purple platypus with pink beak. But the question, Darwin, was if you could have anything. Oh, you would love to homebrew a city of mushroom people that are an inch tall and carve into mushrooms and ride frogs. Yes, cottagecore. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. That sounds absolutely amazing. They'd get along well with the fairies. That could very easily exist in the Feywild. If it was going to exist anywhere, I feel like it would be the Feywild. And if anyone watching is wondering why I keep bringing up the Feywild, my current campaign is stuck in the Feywild at the moment. The one that I'm running anyways. And remember, tomorrow there is no D&D stream. Tomorrow is a break day. I will be working a 12-hour shift tomorrow that goes past when D&D would start and take its break. So, which is another reason why I wanted to talk D&D with y'all tonight. You kind of want to incorporate Pokemon armors into a D&D game. Yes! That sounds amazing. In my last campaign, they found an Umbreon, and they named it Umi. They brought it with them everywhere, constantly forgot about it, and rarely ever actually used it to help them battle, even though it had pretty good stats. Already 12 hours? How's your job? If you want to talk about that, it also splits away from what we were talking about. I enjoy my job. Like, the people I work with for the most part are fantastic. You know, they treat me well. I get paid well. And I opted into the 12-hour shift. It was a normal 8-hour, but then they had someone call out, so they had a half shift to fill, and I was like, I'll stay. I'll stay. I can do that. I've done it before. I'll stay. So, you only seen Feywild once. It was for a one-shot where we were playing a shrimp man cleric. Oh, half the party got afflicted by the high mood swings charm and were in adoration of his giant googly eyes. Oh my god, that sounds amazing. You're so glad to hear that. That sounds amazing, Red. I need to hear more stories from you because you seem to have some pretty entertaining ones. What sounds like a lot? Ren's thing or my work? LOL, it was a time. You've had some stories for sure come across your benches. 12-hour shift. It can be, but you know, you get an extra break and stuff, so it's not too bad. I would honestly rather have like 3 12-hour shifts a week and have 4 days off. You know? Than, you know, work every single day, pretty much. Right? Because, you know, when you work, depending on the time you work, you could have your whole day just be dedicated to work because when you're out, everything's closed or you can't do nothing because it's too early or, you know. Killer elf ears. Thank you, Blair. These are my longest set. I think that's another reason why people love escaping to D&D, though, is escaping the oppression that is working. Like, sure, you get jobs as adventurers, but it's to go kill shit or find loot or, like, do these epic things. You get to be something more. I love epic music. I always listen to music like this whenever I'm biking to work, and it hypes me up so much. Also, I love the ideas that I get from D&D TikTok. Like, if y'all are on TikTok, D&D TikTok is on a whole nother level. Creativity. Thank you for the host, Blair. That was loud in my ear holes. Do you have Spotify? No, I just do YouTube Premium. I find specific songs that I like, or compilations of songs that I like and use them. But for D&D, specific music audio, like when I'm running the game, I use a website called Tabletop Audio. That's completely free. And they have tons of really cool soundtracks for it. Some of them include ambient noises like frogs croaking or rain or crickets or people talking or farm animals or whatever, depending on the ones that you pick. And you can put together a playlist. You can save playlists. You don't know how to describe your music taste. That is so cool, right? Tabletop Audio. Like, not sponsored, but I mean, it has become my go-to for... Because I tried Sirenscape for a while, which gives you a lot more control over individual sounds. But until I get something that I can properly adjust all of the sounds on the fly on, it's not worth it. Light Bob, what if I run a game for you, Damien? You want to be the DM? I mean, if you have an idea for one, you can. You could be the DM or the player. I'm cool with either. But we can figure out logistics of that in the whole D&D talk in the Discord. There's this idea you pitched to some friends recently. Ah, so you got one that you're chomping at the bit to want to do? I have plenty of characters made, so depending on the level, I probably already have something ready. Like, I've had to make a bunch of emails just so I could have enough D&D Beyond accounts because I can't justify the subscription yet because funds are already tight. And thank you again for the gifted subs earlier, Sean and Nightsfall. That definitely helps. And this is your first glance at the D&D table. It is actually an extending table, so it'll extend out to fit 2 more seats along the edges. So everybody will be able to sit comfortably and have enough space because it is a wider table as well. And I'm contemplating getting contact papers for the top of it to make it look more legit, or even just maybe painting it. I haven't decided, but for now it will remain white like the chairs. You wouldn't say chomping, but it is something you've been rolling in your head a bit. Okay. One of these days you'll have enough Twitch money for a Wormwood table. Oh my god, that would be amazing. Yes, I have looked at their tables. Yes, they are incredibly expensive. Yes, I still want an epic D&D table. But maybe not even one of the Wormwood ones. I want one of the ones that have like the built-in screen, so you can put the minis on that, like have the digital map and put the minis on that. Because that would be so cool. Those tables are amazing, right? Oh my god, I feel like every D&D's nerd, it's their dream to have one of those tables. Oh yeah, those are cool tables too. The digital maps, they're so cool. I know! The thing is, I don't know, like I haven't really messed around with either, so I don't know if I'm better at building digital maps or trying to make physical ones like Matt Mercer does. Like with those sculpting of the big like things so you can see levels too, not just flat surface. That's the downside to the digital map, is you can't really get levels. I mean, Wormwood came out with a cheaper line of modular tables, but they're still pricey. Yeah. Most things from Wormwood are pricey, but from what I know, because I haven't gotten anything from Wormwood, but from what I know, like from what I've heard from people, is that it's really good quality, so get what you pay for kind of thing. This was like a $200 table from IKEA. So that was fun to put together. Pockets actually helped me put it together. So Pockets was the very first person to see the D&D table, but now you all get the sneak peek too. I can't wait to extend it and use it for D&D, but this week is off, and I can't even be like, hey, do you guys want it? Because I work. The sculpting is a job in itself, not to mention being a DM. Matt commissions really good artists. Not sure if he makes any of the maps, but I bet he does. Yeah, he's made some of the sculptures that he's used. He's talked about that. Hey, IKEA works sometimes. Sometimes. I know, I would love to get like the foam and the materials to be able to at least try some of the sculpting. Right now, they're like being able to have like the trees and the hag's hut and everything for where my campaign is right now would help a lot, I feel, for field of vision and planning tactics and whatnot. But part 87 into part 54, then insert part 847 with 262. That's what IKEA is like. No, they don't tell you what part. They just show you the images. There's no labels. You expect labels from IKEA? Oh Oh, Disciple, did you see my artwork of my falling character that I'm making, that I'm playing in Nice Boss Game? Ha! My desk was like that. LOL. There was no labels for any of the parts for this. Not a single part was labeled. Not any of the screws or dowels, not any of the wood pieces. It's just... No, where is it? Give me the lore. So, there's the new staff I designed for her, as well as her corrupted eye, because she has bonded to a succubus now. She has lost all of her capabilities as a ranger in exchange for becoming a warlock. You'd have sworn my desk and bed frame came from IKEA. It was hard to figure out with their directions. It is evil, no labeling. Sorry, what? Yeah, so I'm playing Alex in the super naive, sweet, white Dragonborn Ranger who, freed some demons naively a while ago and then has been watching her friends get knocked down time and again, has nearly died several times, and then had the man who killed her father literally in her mouth in direwolf form, but he got away. So her fear and her frustration and her fear of herself has pushed her into making a pact with a succubus, or what she believes to be a succubus, and becoming a warlock. She is falling. She was not prepared for how dark the world is. This song's going crazy, right? Epic music. If it's too loud or too distracting, I can turn it down or turn it off, but I like having the epic music. That poor child. Yes, mwahaha. Oh, it is perfect. I'm glad. Like, I know it's not the best dragon's eye, but I'm pretty happy with how the eye came out. I think my first ever time trying to draw a dragon's eye, I did pretty well. And I don't usually use color either, so... You feel like if someone actually explained that a devil-like succubus / imp makes contracts deals with Gabri, be like, hold up, speaking as a fae, y'all need to stop making deals willy-nilly. Dude, that eye looks rad. Thank you. I don't really know how to make it look like shiny and stuff. Like, I don't know how to... I know, I understand colors in theory, but I don't know how to combine them well enough yet. And that's all colored pencil too, so that doesn't help with wanting to make things look shiny per se, but I've seen people do it. I know it's possible. I specifically use this pack of random colored pencils from a Five Below. You can kind of cheat eye shine if you get a white ink marker or pen, then just draw over it. Screw being careful. You put a white spot somewhere? Well, yeah, like I've got... It's got the white spot in it, but like I still feel like it's not like shiny, you know? Like eyes look wet and shiny, and that does not. A lot of art is yellowing and learning. Oh yeah. Darwin be speaking truth on every learning. Fair. You gotta take risks, and I gotta learn that. But be wise when you take your risks. Taking risks with your health? Not so much. Taking risks with your creativity? Absolutely. Damien, am I in your Discord in the new one? Mayhaps. If not, I will sit. Let's see. There you are. Shaboopy. There we are. Now you should be able to join if you are not already joined. I think it's the old one. Do you to update that, Damien? Yes, I need to update that. I need to update the wish list. I need to update all of Streambot. Ignore Streambot for now. But yes, D&D. I've been having a lot of fun with it. Like, I kind of feel like the old me again. Like, this is my way to perform. Like, performing was always a huge thing for me. A huge outlet. Like, getting to act, getting to do convention shows, being a scare actor. And now, D&D. Theater kid? Absolutely. I didn't get to join drama class until I was in junior high. Until I was in high school, a junior in high school, but noise. By the time I was at college, I had written and produced my own play. I did scare acting at the amusement park around here as like a major thing. I've done volunteer scare acting at charity haunted houses. I've performed in convention shows. Like, performing has always been huge for me. And D&D definitely satisfies that itch, getting to just fully dive into a character and completely improv with that character, but knowing the character so well that the improv is not a problem. It's a lot of fun. You wanted to do theater, but you get too scared. Any tips on stage fright? I was honestly terrified for years while performing. Like, when I was just doing band, the very first time I ever did a solo, I was absolutely terrified, and they could see my legs shaking while I was playing the flute on stage. But if you're able to focus entirely on what you are doing and just absorb yourself in whatever you're doing, be it the dance, let yourself get absorbed into the music and the choreo. If you're singing, let yourself get absorbed into the lyrics. If you are acting in something, let yourself get absorbed into the scene. Just kind of try and let yourself get so absorbed that you forget that there's even an audience, that it's any different than any practice. Like, start when you're on your own, so there isn't one. And then let yourself get absorbed when you're at practices, when you have your fellow actors around. And then let yourself get absorbed when it comes dress rehearsal and you're actually on a stage. And then let yourself get absorbed on actual show day. And it'll feel like every other practice. Take a deep breath and realize that everything will be okay. Exactly. The worst that'll happen is you screw up a line or you trip on something. People might laugh at it for a bit, but eventually they'll forget. And then you just have a story to tell about. There was this one time when I first started doing it that oh gosh, let me tell you, this is an embarrassing one. Like, we love sharing and hearing our embarrassing moments and embarrassing moments of others. But you do in presentations, and it has worked a treat. Very nice. Yeah, as soon as you realize that even the worst case scenario has no long term impact on your life, it's like, oh, well, it's really not a big deal. And it takes a lot of the pressure off. My music went away again, went away again. Maybe that and the fact that this is like the 6th time we've gotten off the topic of D&D means that I should call it an early day on the stream. Because my music will not stop stopping. But I've definitely been enjoying chatting with y'all. Like I've mentioned, I have a 12-hour day tomorrow, so I do need to get some rest for that. So, thank you again for all of the gifted subs. Thank you for hanging out with me and chatting with me. As per usual, we will find someone to raid. I think a good chunk of our friends are online tonight. Let's see. Who's streaming on a Monday? Ooh, yay! We haven't gotten to raid this person in a long time. Oh my goodness, what just happened? Disciple! Thank you for the sub! Disciple, that was so nice of you. Thank you for the prime sub. And raid. There we go. Oh my gosh! What is happening? Disciple, thank you for the 5 gifted subs! What is happening? Thank you! You need to call it a night because you do have early work tomorrow. That reminds me. Thank you for staying to chatter with us. We'll talk about ending with a bang. Thank you for the Chick.D&D table. Thank you. I'm excited to actually get to use it for D&D. But thank you. And it's still going. I feel like I can't do the raid while it's still going. That'd be rude, right? That's someone with Yoshi in their name. How fitting. The other disciple wanted to drop the last drips of love before we raid. Right? Thank you, I'm alarmed and grateful. Hearts, all the love. You guys are awesome. I think that was the last one. I think we're going to clear the raid. Thank you again for the gift subs and just for hanging out with me and being an awesome person. Good night. You matter. Thank you.
This got constructed